Do you guys love that theme song as much as I do? It makes me rock out. It's so zippy, right, Rhonda? Good to see you guys and not see you. Hello, Tisha Cullen. Hello, Jamie Vega. Love the peppy, right? Me too. Peppy. The amazing, talented Leslie Colas in the Philippines, who makes everything in my business happen and work, found that song in some kind of stockpile of songs. And she's a wizard. And that's amazing. John Maletta is here. Adele King, get out of my face. Get out of town. Wait, you already are out of town. You're far, far away. I'm so happy to see you guys. Hello, hello. Hi. Say hi if you're here. Pop a little hi in the old commentos. Rachel, Neva or Neva? We'll find out. Neva? Neva. Rachel, are you coming? Never. I'm sure no one's ever made that joke before in your whole entire life. All right, my friends. Oh, Jane Leonard, what? Good to see you. Cheryl Hall, lovely to see you. You guys, I'm so loving this new little platform that Leslie the Amazingness found and created. Rochelle Olsen Goosey. I almost called you Rachel. That's not your name. I'm loving this platform. It's good to see you guys. I'm just vamping to let a few more people hop in because, as you may know from the title of today, I am going to open the Akashic records of this group right here. So I'm kind of letting the group form. And once I open the old recordos, what's going to happen for me, as it just sort of does through my little system, is we're going to start doing an energy healing. So it's going to get real tonight, you guys. It's going to get down and dirty. Lots of feelings, lots of processing, lots of sensations. So something that would be smart, if you're so inclined to do as we drop into this energy, is think about and start to feel in your body now, if you would be so generous and present of mind to do so, something that you could use released from your energy field, from your heart, from your mind, from your past lives, from your trauma in childhood, from maybe like a repetitive pattern of thought, maybe a repetitive pattern of feeling, just anything that you need to release and let go of. And this can include attachments to thought forms. It can include anything. It could be like cords to people in your life. You might be carrying the weight of your mom's judgments on your back. You might be living for your boyfriend instead of yourself. There's a million things that you could be carrying that you might feel lighter if you were to release. So let's all collectively just start to think about, what could I use release of? Good news about how the divine light works is, even if you're not quite sure what you might want to release or be free of, once I open the Akashic records of everybody who's here, what happens is our hearts begin to connect immediately. I am a pretty strong healer channel person. So, and I can't help that. I can't even take any credit for it. It's just how I showed up on this earth. Believe me, this was not my plan. Okay. I say that all the time, but it's so true. The divine made me this way, and here I am, hopefully using it in a way that's useful to you, but I certainly don't take a ton of credit for it. Yes, I hear my guide saying I did do a lot of work to nurture it and develop it and get good at wielding it. That's true. And I think it's an important topic to talk about, which is the idea of like the talents we're given as human beings. They're just in there. They're just in there. We could take credit for nurturing them and bringing them forward into the world and showing up to do what needs doing to get them visible in reality. But are we the ones who really invented? Like, did you, before you were a baby, say like, I'd like to be good at channeling? I mean, maybe you did in pre-consciousness before you incarnated, but I would even give credit to the all that is for that. Because at the very least, I can't remember choosing it. So how is that different from it was chosen and it already was? It's really not that different. Anyway, it's a complex paradox, the thing of credit, right? Where is credit due? For me, it brings me humility to say, like, I came into this body-mind organism with certain qualities and certain failings and certain strengths and certain not strengths. And my job is to employ them well. And that's what I get to like be grateful for myself and proud of myself. And, what's the word I want? Like just to feel good about. That's how we build esteem, right? Is we show up for the gifts we've been given. But did we invent the gifts we were given? Not really. So there's a give and take between the all that is and our individuated body mind organisms. There's a give and take. We've been given, and now it's our job to give back. Did you know that when you live into your potency and your power and your gifts, that just by living into it, that is you like bowing in gratitude to the divine? I had a teacher once who taught me that. I said, like, how do we let the all that is know that we're grateful for what we have? And she said, live well. And I was like, what? And she said, yeah, live well. If you're happy and full of joy, living into your gifts and using them, that is all the gratitude the universe requires. God is not sitting around going like, is Katie doing a good enough job? That is a projected idea that we put on God, okay, or on consciousness. The universe is not evaluating you. Your soul is evaluating your choices in terms of how you feel after you make them. It's funny to me sometimes that we think we need this, or that there is existence, some judging God in the sky. There's not. There's you living well or not living well. And when you suffer, it's because you're not living well for your organism. And that's the only consequence. You suffer. That's the consequence. You shoot a baby with a gun. Please, nobody shoot any babies. I don't care how upset you are. Call me first. You don't have to shoot a baby. But if you shoot a baby with a gun, God willing, nobody here is a baby killer. I'm pretty sure if you're here, you're not into baby murder. But let's say one day you shoot a baby with a gun, you're going to feel bad after. That is your punishment from the universe. You're going to feel like ass. And if you don't feel like ass, don't you worry, because there will be a lifetime in the future, not too far from now, when you do feel like ass. Because in my personal experience, you guys, you'd have no idea the murdering, raping horror show I have been in past lives. I mean, think of a shit show perpetrator energy you could have inhabited. I've inhabited it many times. How do I know? Because I've seen it all, and I've sat with it all, and I've worked this lifetime to clear all that shit, so that you will there is a reckoning. We do all come back to the light at some point. And when you come home to the light, you're going to feel shitty if you don't clear the things that are not of the light. You feel shitty in your body. God doesn't need to punish your ass. God's like creating shit and having a good old time. There's nobody punishing you, but your actions create pain and suffering or not. So eventually we all come back to the light of consciousness that desires for us to have joy and peace and alignment. So we may as well make choices that facilitate that. Which brings me back to what we're doing here tonight. We're going to do a healing for you and the group. Okay. And I think we have a nice collective here. So I think we're ready to go. So I hope you've taken a moment just to think about, what would you like to move today? What would you like to release today? If you need a couple more examples, I mean, gosh, the divine can do anything. So, whatever you want. Maybe you want to forgive someone. Maybe you want to no longer be sad or angry about a thing. Maybe you want to meet Squeezle the dog in person. You can send a request to the universe to meet Squeezle the dog in person. I can't guarantee I will put her in a shipping container and send her to you, but you never know. The divine works in mysterious ways. You may as well look at her. Come on, with the preppy sweater. What? Give me a break. You got to tone down the cuteness. I'm doing a show, and when you're that cute, it's all people want to see is you in your preppy sweater. She's like, yeah, I'm going to Brown next semester. So I decided I'm going to study women's studies and political science. So I feel like I need to fit in. So I got this sweater at the dog sweater store. Any hoozle. Maybe you want to forgive someone. Maybe you want to be free of some anger or some sadness. Maybe you have a weird pattern that repeats, or a physical sensation in your body that you can't seem to get rid of through therapy or acupuncture or normal practices, meditation, something that you've tried many things to be free of and kind of can't unlock in your own energy field. Let's get aware of that for ourselves right now. And we're going to bring a bunch of light to that. Now, if you have nothing you need to be free of, or you can't think of anything that you want to be free of, feel free to get clear on an ask you'd like to make of the divine. Now, let's be clear, we're always making asks of the divine. We always are. Anytime you say like, "Hey universe, could I have $50,000?" It hears you. It's responding. However, when we do something like expand our energy fields into really high vibrational frequencies of light, like what we're going to do now by getting into the Akashic records, which is only one way. It's just one way in. There's many ways in. When we raise our vibration and get into that kind of energy field, by the way, look at this. Come on. Curled up on the lap, just being goddamn delicious all day, this dog. I know I did something right in my healing journey because this dog wants to live with me and I can't. Every day I'm just like sobbing gratitude. So when we expand our energy fields into the consciousness of something like the Akashic records, we are, how do I say? I mean, this is a little bit incorrect, but we are closer to God, as it were. Our hearts are merged with the frequency with a higher frequency of the light of the all that is. So when you make a request from inside this kind of connection, I mean, it happens. It comes to pass. If it's a request that does serve your highest good, and if it's a request that's going to benefit you and everyone else, it'll come to pass. Now, remember, right before we jump in here, sometimes in order for something new to come into your reality, something else has to go. Some heaviness has to move. Some mental construct has to shift or release. So sometimes after these energy healings, people have really intense days. You might have a day or two or three or more of intensity after tonight. You might not. You might have a fully easy time and not even notice it. But just be prepared that sometimes this work can really move stuff for people, which then means you have to understand we're functioning from 5D and beyond. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, sometimes 16, 25, 93, they've shown me. And I'm transmitting light for you from those realms. So your dense 3D body might need a couple days to catch up with everything we've done here. So don't be surprised if the next couple days are a little intense. Additionally, understand that when you work with spiritual energy in particular, and you don't bypass that and go straight to consciousness, which a lot of people do, when you work with spiritual energy, what happens is what gets integrated in your healing is your emotional body and your physical body really effectively. The spirit, the body and the emotions are a function of spirit. They are a physical expression of spirit, and spirit is a like more dense expression of consciousness. But in the human vehicle, we are meant to have body, emotions, spirit, mind, and consciousness, all of it. We're not meant to give any of it away for any other part of it. And whenever we dissociate away from any aspect of what makes up the human vehicle, we wind up having a lot of confusion and misunderstandings. And we wind up not being able to heal everything we're looking to heal, and not being able to step into everything we're trying to step into. You see, if you cut forward into consciousness and don't include spirit, body, and emotions in the equation and in the work and in the energy field, you can't actually feel into who you as an individuated being are and what that individuated being actually wants and needs emotionally and physically. So it's very important we work with all the realms. And if you've been listening to the podcast, All the Answers, free everywhere you get podcasts, and or coming to this once a week, you know that I've been in a deep exploration of the relationship between spirituality and consciousness lately. I've been sitting with a few questions about that for a couple years now. And it's that's the gift of being confused, you guys. When you're stuck on a thing, if you stay with your stuckness and you stay with your inquiry, eventually you will get your answer. You will get your clarity. You will get your awareness one way or another, because the universe always hears what we're wondering about, and it is responding. So if you're open and receptive and looking for answers actively, you will get them. You may have to ask some people, you may have to work with some people, you may have to call someone, you may have to journal about it, you may have to cry a lot on your couch, as I am wont to do. You may have to come see a healer. There might be a bunch of shit you need to do. But if you stay with the wondering and need to know, eventually your need will be met. Okay. So all of that was a very long set of detours off of the following idea, which is please, if you have a request of the divine, even if you don't have something you want to heal or clear or release tonight, get clear on your request. And once we're in the records, there will be a moment where I'll say, cool, now make your request. And a useful way to make the request is to ask from your heart, the heart chakra here in the center of the chest. Ask from your felt sense inside your heart. When you ask from that place, there is a real sort of vulnerable authenticity to the ask, rather than asking straight from the mind. When you ask from the heart, you're connected to the emotional body, you're connected to the spiritual realm, and the divine responds really well when we ask from the heart. Okay, lots of words. Let's dive in. So we'll go ahead and close our eyes, and I'll join you in that. And we'll take a couple breaths together here into the low belly. I have a 12-pound sack of potatoes on my lap that I'm trying to do this with. But who am I kidding? I regularly do. Huh. She loves the healings. Oh my God. And she's such a good little facilitator. She is. Okay, distracted by the cuteness. All right, so we'll breathe into the low belly. And we'll relax our shoulders and our upper chest. We'll relax the back, the upper back. We'll consciously choose to relax, release, and open the energy at the throat and at the brain stem, which is at the back of your neck. Did you know that every stuck energy you hold that came from a trauma or something emotionally painful in your past exists both in your heart and wherever else in the body it gets stuck, but always there is a corollary in the brain stem at the back of the neck. I had a teacher who said we crystallize into a hard crystallized form, our unprocessed emotional energy, into a kind of resin in the back of the neck. So if you need a place to pay attention and be present during the healing, start with the heart. Try the back of the neck. And if you're female identifying, feel into the womb space. Those are great places to be if you need a place to be. So we'll continue to breathe into the low belly, letting the belly button expand away from the spine as we inhale. And letting the belly button contract back toward the spine as we exhale. We're going to feel into the bottoms of our feet now. Imagine that the full surface area of the bottom of each of your feet is touching the earth. Even if you have socks and shoes on, that's fine. Just feel into and become aware of the bottoms of each foot. Breathe into the low belly. Soften your belly, soften your spine, soften your shoulders, soften your neck. We're working with the nervous system here when we do divine light energy healing. So it's going to it's going to travel through your nervous system. So we want the spine to be relaxed to the best of our ability. Breathing into the low belly, feeling into the bottoms of the feet. Visualize for me now, if you could, a little spinning foot chakra or a little vortex or a little hurricane or tornado of light spinning open at the bottom center of each of your feet. And just watch as that tornado spins wider and wider and wider and wider and more open until eventually it spins so big and so wide and so open that the entire surface area of the bottom of each of your feet becomes an open window. And this open windowing at the bottom of each foot allows the electromagnetic field of your body to communicate with the electromagnetic field of the earth below you. So your two light bodies connecting more actively, more consciously, more viscerally. Visualize for me now 500 energetic tree roots made of light extending through the open window of each of your feet. So we're sending, just through our intention and our imagination, 1,000 tree roots of light through the open window of each foot, 500 through the left foot and 500 through the right foot, sending those tree roots hundreds of miles down into the earth. Really see this happening, feel this happening, know this to be happening. And understand that these tree roots are extending from the tree of light that is the consciousness of you. Metaphorically speaking, you are a tree of light, such that extending tree roots through the open window of each of your foot is the extension of your own roots, hundreds of miles down and in. down and in and down and in to the center and to the left and to the right and to forward and back. As you watch those roots extend down, next watch as a big wide grounding cord shoots from the base of your spine to the center of the earth, about 1.5 feet wide, straight down to the center of the earth. Visualize now a river of light flowing up from the center of Sophia Gaia, or the soul of this planet, a river of light coming up through the grounding cord, hitting you in the base of your spine, nourishing that first chakra, flooding forward into each of your hip sockets, flooding down each of your legs, down through the quads and glutes and hamstrings, this bright white river of light. Or maybe you see it as a different color, that's fine. But this light given by the earth herself flows down through your legs into your knees, down into the calves and shins, ankles and feet. And it floods down into the roots we extended moments ago below you, into the earth. So this river of light given by the earth flows up into you, down through your legs, and back into the earth through your roots that you established moments ago, giving us 3 points of anchoring. The light body of you now anchored into the light body of this planet. You want to not be on technology now other than the computer you're watching this on. Try your best not to be distracted on your phone or with other people. Really give yourself the gift of being present to this process and staying with your body. Breathe into the low belly. Feel into the womb space for those of you who are female identifying. Feel into the pelvic floor for all of us. And so we do acknowledge the forces of light, asking for guidance, direction, and courage to know the truth as it is revealed for our highest good and the highest good of everyone connected to us. Holy Spirit of divine light, protect me, please, from all forms of self-centeredness and direct my attention to the work at hand. Help me to know everybody here tonight. On this Facebook Live, in the light of the Akashic records. Help me see everybody who has come to Katie Church and is on this Facebook Live through the eyes of the lords of the records, and enable me to share the wisdom and compassion that the masters, teachers, and loved ones of everybody here on this Facebook Live have for everybody here on this Facebook Live. And I'll go quiet for just a moment. All right, and as I'm speaking to the record keepers of everybody in this group that has gathered here today, I ask that you take, clear, release, uncreate, and destroy anything and everything in my field and or everybody listening's field that would stand in the way of each of us receiving the highest and best frequencies of light, healing, guidance, and direction that we each can receive. Anything in the way of all that, we ask that you take it, release it, clear it, uncreate it, and destroy it. Across all time, dimension, space, and reality. I ask that you deepen me into the Akashic records of this group, everyone in it. I ask that you connect to each of us, with a golden light that connects each of our hearts right now. And as that golden light spreads through the hearts of this group, it connects us all into a circle that is connected only by the divine light. So you can't pick up other people's stuff. The only thing connecting you to everyone in this group is a thread, you could say, of golden light. When we're connected as a group, it moves energy bigger and faster, and it anchors us to the earth. Some of you are a little ungrounded tonight, and so the connecting of the hearts is another way to anchor the group, which then allows the energy to move more directedly, more powerfully. Amin, 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 amin. And we're asking now, amin, as we come into deep connection and communion. We're asking for a powerful divine light transmission. I'm asking for the presence of all the star beings and the star nations, the angels and the archangels, the ascended masters. Amen. Ooh, to bring a powerful healing through for everybody in this group. Amen. I ask that you take what they need taken, process what they need processed, integrate what they need integrated, clear what they need cleared, release what they need released. Feel into your bodies, everyone. Feel into the spinal column, the back of the neck, the heart, the belly, the pelvic floor, or the womb. Be with where Allah, your thing you want to release, lives as an energy. Be with it now. Feel it. Stay present. Don't check out. Amen. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammad abduhu wa rasulullah. We ask that anything unconscious that anyone here is unaware that they're carrying that has to do with the thing they want to release, we ask that you meet us in those unconscious places, the buried places, the hidden places, the veiled places, the cloaked places. Allah. Good, that did it. I ask that you take us all to the veiled, hidden, buried, unconscious, subconscious, or conscious places where we need healing. Where we need emotional release. Please don't fight your emotions if you're having them now. Let them come up. If you feel hot or cold, let that happen and stay present to it. If you feel tight or heavy, dive into the center of that tightness. Take your energetic awareness, feel into the tightness. Stay with it as I bring this light. We ask for all the things that these folks have not been able to clear or release or process or integrate or even find in themselves until today. Ask that you find them, clear them, release them, integrate them, open them, unlock them. Cool. We ask that everything connected to past lives or other dimensional experiences be brought to present time now for everybody in this group. Allah. Stay with it. Stay with it. Allah. We're asking for all that density from all the past lives, any karma, any heavy emotional energy to all be taken, released. Processed, cleared, uncreated, destroyed, eliminated, eradicated, and dissipated. Across all time, dimension, space, and reality. All that stuck, heavy, dense past life energy, we ask for it to be brought to present time and completed now. Fully completed. If you're feeling nauseous, stay with the nausea. Be gentle with it, but stay with it. We're going to meet you there and release that. But stay with it. Don't run from it. Allah. Okay, all the places and spaces that have been cleared so far, we ask that they be filled in with the highest and best frequencies of light that each of the people here today can now receive and hold. Starlight, divine light, conscious light, the light of awareness, the Akashic light, Akashic blueprinting energy. I mean, Okay. Do a little third chakra focus now. A couple of you have some dense kind of, we'll call it like dark energy. Feel into the third chakra, which is the solar plexus, just above the belly button and below the heart. Amin. Kul hulahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Kul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq min sharri ma khalaq wa min sharri ghasikin idha waqab wa min sharri nafathati fil 'uqad wa min sharri hasidin idha hasad. Allah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Kul a'udhu bi rabbin nas, malikin nas, ilahin nas. Feel into your body. Min sharri waswasil khanas alladhi waswisu fi suduri nas minna il jannati wa nas. Subhanallah. So sometimes what they bring through is light language from different star nations. Sometimes what you're hearing me do is Arabic prayers that come through from my training in the Sufi lineage. All of it is different frequencies of light that are correct for or useful for specific and different energies that need to clear. Sometimes the way my body is moving or my voice is talking or the tones that come through, those are energies as well. The breath work, all of it is clearing different energies that need to be cleared with different frequencies of light. I'm just here open, letting it happen. Okay, and now we open ourselves specifically to receive a powerful Christ light transmission, understanding this does not have to be connected to religion in any way. This is just a powerful white light. The Christ light is a very bright white fire hose of light. Allah. That is very strong and very aligning and very activating and very bright. This is why people formed a big old fat popular religion around it, because it's a really juicy light that people like a lot. And then people do weird stuff with light. Amin. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammad abduhu wa rasulullah. These lights are available to all of us. You can align yourself with any frequency of light you so desire by practicing, by asking, by bowing, by opening. Okay, and as we integrate everything that has moved and everything that's been brought in and activated and given, just notice how you feel. Allow this integration to occur for just a moment here. My vision gets weird when I'm doing light work. Okay, so when you're ready, anyone who has a question, now is a good time to throw it up in the chat, in the comment section. These questions can be about anything and everything, your specific path, something you're trying to heal right now that won't move and you could use a little help with. A question about removing an entity, a question about a family member, a question about your past lives, any old anything. And since I'm in the Akashic records of this group, I'll be able, hopefully, I can do my job, to tap into the records of everybody here. So please, when you're ready, anyone who has a question about anything, whether it's happening now or not, please pop it in the comments section and I'll take them one at a time. Breathe into whatever process you're in the middle of, if you're in the middle of a process. Pop your questions in the comments section as you're ready. How to release needy family members. Well, first of all, you have to choose to do so, and you have to be willing for them to not like you, and you have to be willing to be judged by them. They are going to incorrectly judge you. They are going to misunderstand, and you have to set appropriate boundaries. In your case, sometimes the boundaries are vague. They need to be clean and clear. Then energetically, the work to be done, my love, says your guides, say your guides, is in your heart, the place where you're attached to them. I mean, okay, can you feel that right now? The person who wrote this, feel that right now in your heart where you feel all attached, but in that kind of guilty, sticky, icky way. Stay with that. And anyone else who has needy family members or family members you'd like to detach from, or anybody you'd like to detach from, find that icky, sticky place where you have guilt about it and fear about it in your heart or wherever it is for you. Feel it, and now we're moving it now. You know, in your case too, it would benefit you to look at what is the payoff? What is the payoff of keeping them around? Why do you not detach from them? What is the payoff to you? There's always a payoff. I get them to not be mad at me. I don't have to feel rejected or judged. I don't have to feel lonely. You want to get clear on what you're keeping or what the benefit is from not cutting them off. And then decide, is it worth it to you to keep these quote, quote, needy people around just to not be judged or not be disliked or not be disowned or misunderstood? And that's a question you're going to have to work with over time. Okay, that was really good. We moved some of the energy of it. Jean, Jenny, Jane, Leonard. And there's more to move. There's more to move there. This would be something for you to really dig into in therapy and or energy healing session or 2 or 3 or 5 to really get free of and clear of the kind of lineage beliefs that are in this family about what it means to be in a family and how you're supposed to like dishonor yourself to meet the needs of others, which of course, as we know, never works. Okay, thank you for the question. Next question. I have to lean like this to read them because my eyes don't work when I'm channeling. I would like to know how my father is. He recently passed. Okay, Rachel Neva. I'm going to say Neva, but they know who you are. If it's Neva, I apologize. We'd like to connect with Rachel Neva's father. Father-in-law, did you say? Or father? Father. How is he? If you can write in the chat, Rachel, when he passed, that would help me. You know, one thing I get, Rachel, is he's not fully gone yet. He hasn't fully left this dimension exactly. He's kind of halfway gone. That leads me to believe he passed quite recently. Yeah, there we go. 221. Yeah. Oftentimes, you guys, when folks die, and my blessings, my love, and my light to you, my love, I'm so sorry for your loss, unless it was a relief, in which case, congrats. But I don't know your story, so I don't know what to say. Rachel, so people, when they pass, they oftentimes, this is pretty wild, wacky shit. They visit everybody and they hang around for a while before they fully pass into the next realms. So how he is getting better the more he leaves. He's got some resistance to fully leaving because he's worried about you guys. That's really sweet. That's really sweet. May we all be so lucky to have somebody worry about us like that. But he's kind of hanging around to make sure everybody's okay, and he's going to, make the rounds and move along. But there's a lot of love there. He had been ill with Alzheimer's. Yeah, that makes sense. That's probably why it feels like he's doing so much better now, because, when you're in a body and you're dealing with Alzheimer's, it's uncomfortable as hell. Love and light to you, my friend. Let me know if you have more questions about that. I'm going to go to another question now. Okay, Rochelle, is the cat we call Big Cat here to protect our house? Yes. Is he an incarnate of someone I knew? No. Big Cat here for Rochelle to protect the house. Any other info on that? No. Although, if I may, the character of this cat, Rochelle, is very sassy and brutish and funny. He's kind of like a drag queen. Like he's kind of like not taking no shit. I like him. I want to hang out with him. I want him in my barn, taking care of my life. But no, I don't get that he's an incarnate of anything else. Is he an incarnate of another? No. Okay, great question. That was fun. Ray is asking, what am I becoming? Can you be a little more specific? Are you talking about professionally? Are you talking about personally? Can you tell me a little bit more? And in the meantime, I'm going to take this other question here. Naini Marie, please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your name. How do you know when you are out or in of your body? I have old attack stories in my space because I'm not in my body. Fear has shown up. Well, you just told me that you're not in your body. So when you say, how do you know when you're in or out of your body? You apparently know, because you just said, I'm not in my body. So that's one way you know, because you know. You clearly already know. Okay, so there's that. Now let me listen how they would say it. Naini Marie. She's asking how she knows when she's in or out of her body. Okay. You'll feel spacey, you'll feel ungrounded, and you won't feel a lot of feelings in general. You'll feel sort of like everything's fine and I'm kind of checked out and I don't really have any problems, but you'll be aware of a bunch of heaviness in your body. You'll know it's there, but you won't feel in touch with it. Part of why you're out of your body a lot right now is because of, I can feel how light it is out there. It's really nice out there, isn't it? Is because of the trauma that is ready to move. Okay, the trauma is up and it's ready to move. So, here's a mistake a lot of people make on the spiritual healing path, you guys. People think fear is this dumb thing that whenever you have fear, it's just bullshit and don't listen. My fear is up. So it's like, we judge ourselves about it. Instead, it's like this. If fear is up, there's something that happened that is activating it. So you need to drop down and in and feel all that terror. In your case, I would call it terror. I hate to break it to you. I think it's more than fear. It's terror. You went through some shit. And the thing about trauma, you guys, is we don't get to release trauma just by going I'm not going to I don't believe the narrative. We like to be I'm not going to get caught in my story about my trauma. And that's true. You don't want to be so bogged down by the narrative of your trauma that you can't do your day. You really don't. That's an important thing to do mentally, but it doesn't liberate you from the stuck energy of your trauma. In order to do that, you have to go back down into it and grieve and work through, titrate out of your body all of that fear. And sometimes people need to do that with help. You do that with EFT tapping. You do that with a therapist that you trust. You do that by making contact with the one within you who is afraid. You do that with an energy healer, such as myself. There's many ways to do it, but the point being, you've got to meet up with the terror, Naini, and let it process through. Good news is we got some of it. We dealt with some of it today in the healing. But you're aware, and I'd like to point this out, of more of it down in the pelvic floor, down in the belly and in the second chakra below the belly. So I would suggest you work in that area. And You won't be able to avoid the effects that this stuff has had, 90, on your heart. So don't worry, you'll be taken to your heart if you do the womb, first chakra, second chakra work. Feel into there. Oh, it's like dense and thick and sticky and heavy. Okay, for just a moment, feel into it right now. And anyone else with any attack history, abuse history, sexual abuse history, any kind of trauma from the past, feel into the womb space or the pelvic floor or the genital area. Mm. Well, that piece was really ready to go. That just moved like a fire hose. I mean, we ask that you fill in these places and spaces with the highest vibrational frequencies of light that 90 and anyone else who cleared that can now hold. I mean, yeah. Well, that was a nice big fast chunk. Okay, you may have tonight when we hang up, or right now, 90, or tomorrow, a bunch of emotional release from the heart chakra from that. Don't fight it. Let yourself cry and break down if you need to. Okay, that's the next layer of the clearing that we just did. Just don't fight it. You're doing really great. Thank you for that question. So when you're out of your body, it feels light and like, I don't have any problems, but you're aware of the density in your body. When you're in your body, you're going to feel pretty heavy and dense right now because you're processing a bunch of deep old stuff. Okay, thank you for the question. It's a good one. It's very relevant for a lot of people. Sarah Stokes says, meow. Speaking of Rochelle's cats, any chance we can get my husband to say yes to us adopting the kittens? I love the variety of questions tonight. Please know that if I'm moving on from your very intense question into a lighthearted one and I'm laughing, it does not mean that I don't value the seriousness of your intense questions. I do. It's just, it's a funny juxtaposition. It's like kitty cats and deep trauma. So that's where my laughter is coming from on that. All right. So the question there is, can we get my husband to say yes to us adopting the kittens? Or is it not in our highest good? Okay, so is Sarah Stokes' husband going to come around to the kitten idea? Boy, he sure doesn't want to, does he? What's the big deal with him and the kittens? Man, I don't get it. I don't get a read on it, Sarah. What's his deal? Why is he so resistant to these cats? I get a no right now. Okay, Carly Mara or Mara. What is the best way for me to shift physical weight? God, you guys are going for it tonight. Okay, good question. It's a big one. I need your name, Carly Mara. And I'm sure there are plenty of you wondering about versions of this because we are in America, or some of us, we are on Earth where body judgments are real, or they happen. Carly Mara, best way to shift physical weight. I think you're asking about weight loss, not weight gain, right? Interesting. Well, this is interesting, Carly. Because the feeling I have with you is it's almost like, speaking of being out of body, whatever happened that made you leave your body, it's like the weight is the thing tethering you to this earth, which speaks to, it must have been pretty painful for you. And there's a way that I can tell that you're like, well, it wasn't that big a deal. What am I so upset about? Or you can kind of criticize how sensitive you can be about it and about what happened or didn't happen. But your field feels really, really light. So like, this is trauma that had you leave the body, and then the body weight is like to keep you here. So some part of you is like wanting to feel your own presence, wanting to feel like, what does it feel like to be me? What does it feel like to be in my body? What does it feel like to have dimensionality? And so the weight and the food are like, I can feel that. So the short answer is trauma healing. And the other piece of it is boundaries. No more toxic people around you, no more mean people around you, clarity of boundaries. You know, they say food and weight issues have to do, this is like a therapy idea, but also like a lot of trauma healing teachers talk about this, that weight stuff has to do with sexual abuse history, mom issues, or saying no, boundaries. So I think there's something in there for you on kind of all of those levels, possibly. Feel free to say more about it, but that should get you started on that. There's work to be done to bring you back into your body. Then it's about setting boundaries with toxic people or just people, really, and doing your mom work, doing the work around your mom. Thank you for the question. It's a really interesting one because people often think like if there's physical weight on the body, that there's a dense, heavy problem there, when sometimes it's really, we're trying to have more density because we've left our body. And so we're looking to experience being here. Thank you for the question. That's super vulnerable. Okay, let's see here. Okay, I'm going to come back to Ray's question. Hard to be specific. Lots coming in, and it feels overwhelming and vague. Big capacity upgrade, not taking shape yet. Massive grief and ancestral level trauma clearing. Not sure what I'm not seeing and need to see. Okay, well, that's a question. The question I'm hearing you ask is there anything I need to see that I'm not seeing? Okay, first things first, don't worry about the shape it's going to take. This is not the sexiest information or news, but it's going to take a while, and the shape will take shape as it takes shape. What's important is just to do the work as you're doing it. So pieces that are relevant: anger, fury, rage, running up the spinal column, that needs a place to go. It needs processing. It needs to be expressed and felt, but not only expressed and felt, it needs to be transmuted and released. Remember that 9 times out of 10, under anger, rage, fury, hate, is sorrow, grief. So just keep digging into that. I know you might not like this one too, or I should say either, but some light work would help because, okay, this is good for everybody to hear. Certain things, but not everything. Okay. Certain things in life will not clear without light work, because what they are is the opposite of light. So there are certain things that can clear just by crying, or just by journaling, or just by going for a walk, or just by choosing to think differently about it, or just by letting it go, or whatever. But hit a bataka bat on a pillow and scream. That's all real. Acupuncture, although that's light work of its own kind. But certain things literally need divine light. They need it to process, release, and clear, because the very fabric that they are made of is only washable, you could say, with divine light. In the same way that, like, I don't know, if you get ink in your carpet and you try to clear blue ink out of your white carpet with, like, I don't know, fucking battery acid, that would destroy the carpet. But if you use soap, like a clear soap that isn't going to stain the carpet, that would work, because that's what ink needs to get out of a carpet. So rather than judge rather than judging what it needs, just use the thing it needs. Like, different things need different tools to heal them. This one could use some, this aspect of this wound, which is the anger piece, could use some light, however you go about that. But the big piece I get for you is the anger, rage, fury, and in the spinal column, and not to worry about the shape yet, because any shape you would give to anything right now is just going to blow apart and change in 5 minutes, unfortunately, which I know is an annoying answer. Follow up to your question, thinks the boy cat, oh, this is from Sarah about the cats, thinks the boy cat will spray forever, so he's a no dang. He's a no dang. Thought you'd have a wizard secret to unlock his yes. Thanks for checking on it. You know, I'm not in the business of changing people's free will. Like, he's pretty stubborn sometimes, is what I get. And he's like, I just, no, Now, if he were coming to me and saying, I don't want these cats and I want to release my resistance to it, well, that I could work with because he'd be giving me permission to work on his resistance. But I don't have that permission. Yeah, that's a clear yes. I do not have that permission. I'm sorry. Okay, Diane Dobson. My parents both passed when I was 4 at different. Okay, good. Thank you, Ray. I'm glad that's useful. Sorry, Diane. Okay, parents both passed when I was 4 at different times from different diseases. My God. I'm 44 now and hate that I never got to know them. How can I connect with them? Through meditation or some other way? Diane Dobson. God, how do I know you, Diane? I can't remember how we're connected. We have to wrap up now to keep this to time, but let me see what I can get quickly for you, Diane. And then please, everybody, if you could hang out for a minute, because I need to close the records of this group. So it'd be great. Just give me 2 minutes so I can close the records of this group. Different times from different diseases. Through Yvonne. Okay. How can I connect with my parents? So Diane Dobson, how can she connect with her parents? Okay. So they say, I don't know if you have a spiritual practice, but whatever it is, do your spiritual practice. Meditate, chant, sit there, cry, whatever, journal, talk to God, whatever you do. Then from your heart, call on them by name, but do it through the channel of connection to source. So you go, hey God, or hey spirit, or hey source, whatever you call it, consciousness, whatever. I'd like to talk to Carol Brady, the name of your mother, okay? And then feel in your heart, Diane, I do get that you can do this on your own. Feel in your heart, ask from the heart for her to come through the connection with the divine. And then ask questions. You'll know when she arrives because you'll feel her, okay? And same with your dad. By the way, this is going to be great training for you. My pleasure, Carly. I hope it's helpful. This is going to be great training for you with whatever you're doing in your, like, you're going to build and develop your otherworldly capacities by communicating with these two. You know, you guys, all of us, any of us can talk with our loved ones who have passed. You really can. You just have to have a bit of a spiritual connection. You have to be tapped into the realms of light that are finer and more refined than this dense reality we live in. So when you want to talk to dead folks, deepen your spiritual connection, because everything is available. All energies, all people, all beings are available for connection through the higher realms of light. So that's how I would do it. But they say, talk through your heart, feel them coming in this way. Diane, feel the energy when you feel her arrive, and then ask her stuff and listen and feel. For you, there's going to be a lot of feeling. Feel in your body how it feels when you say, like, so what did you like to do? Or I don't know, how's it going where you are? Or whatever you ask them, feel in your body. Remember, you guys, as you're developing your psychic and otherworldly abilities, some people see, hear, know, feel, sense. There's many different ways to speak with and perceive the energies of those who are beyond. And it's not just seeing. Everybody thinks they need to see or hear words or know things. It's not always like that. Some of us feel. I'm very kinesthetic with how my psychic stuff works. So I hope that's helpful, Diane. And to get more specific, I would get into have a session sometime when you're ready. And develop that spiritual connection. That's the main key. All right, my friends, we're going to close the records here because I want to stick to my time constraints. So everybody, if you could just feel into your heart for a second and feel into the pelvic floor and feel your feet flat on the ground. While I thank the masters, teachers, and loved ones for their love and compassion, I want to thank the lords of the records for their point of view and the Holy Spirit of light for all knowledge and healing. I ask that you return everybody here at Katie Church on this Facebook Live. I ask that you return all their energy to themselves now. I ask that you return everybody's energy here to themselves. I ask that you return everybody here to their complete human wholeness now. The divine portal and the Akashic records of everybody on this Facebook Live are now closed. Amen. The divine portal and the Akashic records of everybody here on this call, on this Facebook Live, amen, here at Katie Church are now closed. Amen. The divine portal and the Akashic records of everybody attending this event tonight, this Katie Church, this Facebook Live, are now closed. Amen, amen, amen. Squeezle is coming back to life. Shadawan la ilaha illallah, Shadawan Muhammad, Abduhu wa Rasulullah. She always does this. She shows up right when I'm starting to channel, passes out, holds space for us, and then is like, oh, okay, I guess we're done, and starts to rouse herself as soon as I'm closing the records. She's incredible. You know who else is incredible? Y'all people. Thank you for being here. You make me feel like myself. I get to do the work I do and feel empowered and awake and alive in being of service to you. So thank you for coming here and letting this be of use to you. It fulfills me and brightens my heart so, so much. So thank you for being here. And we'll see you next week. Same bat channel, same bat time. My pleasure. Thank you guys so much. And consider booking a session when you're ready. KatieRubin.com to do that. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Take good care. Squeezle sends her love. And then I always forget, like, how do I do this now, Leslie? What do I do? Do I just sit here and look pretty and you're going to close it? I'm going to do that. I'm going to look pretty, you guys, and then Leslie's going to wrap it up. Oh.